Okay, Jessica.
Yes.
There are a couple things, 3 things, in fact, we have to talk about before we talk about this episode.
3?
3
Holy
things.
smokes.
3 things. So, but before we can get into them, we have to tell people what show are we guessing on today?
Okay, we are watching WHITSTABLE PEARL, season 1, episode 5. It's called A Cup O' Kindness.
A Cup O' Kindness. Cup is important. But before we talk about WHITSTABLE PEARL, the show, we have to talk about 3 things.
Okay.
We have to talk about location, medication, and carbonation.
Oh my god. This is like an REM song all of a sudden.
That would be the best little mandolin minor key song ever. Here I am talking about carbonation. Don't put it past
location. No, that sounds more like an Aladdin song.
I was just gonna say, REM did the commercial for the realtor. The realtor thing.
Realtor.com.
Realtor.com. Now for our conference, REM. They're playing. Anyways. So location, Whitstable is an actual real place.
It is. I told you this in our editorial meeting in preparation for this because I said I'm so used to, and then I was like, hold on, nope. This is just from Midsummer that I'm used to I have come to expect, which is totally
Midsummer
false.
Has ruined it. Has ruined made such an impression on you.
That there's a fake county in England. All the other mystery shows we've watched in England are in real places, but for some reason I thought WHITSTABLE PEARL was a made up place. It is not. It is near Canterbury in the Kent County. And it is sort of on the same latitude-ish as London, on the east side.
Eastern
shore of it's not the eastern shore because it's kind of like in a cove. And there are real oysters there. They've been talking about it since Roman times.
Okay, but the oysters. So location and oysters, and this is gonna. So they're big on their oysters there, on their oyster farming, and apparently since time immemorial they have liked their oysters there, which has led to them over farming, and now they don't
over harvesting. Really. Now they
okay.
have farms, but they're not necessarily farming the what do you call it? The indigenous oyster? It's like a farm oyster.
Yeah, they brought in other oysters and they're thriving there, but they're not necessarily anyways, so there are oysters there. And they have a thing on this show, which I was like, that cannot possibly be real. I had heard of throwing an oyster in your beer, like opening up a Guinness and throwing an oyster in your beer. I had heard of that. I don't know that I would try that, but I have heard of that. But there's a thing that is very popular in the show called an oyster stout. This is the carbonation part of what we need to talk about.
Okay.
So they have an oyster stout. I'm like, what the heck? Are they using an oyster stout? Is this a stout that's supposed to taste like an oyster?
Yes, we did see that on the wall in the first episode, and I was like, what?
He even orders it. It's a thing. He orders.
Does?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Everybody's ordering oyster stouts all over. And I'm like, they cannot possibly be using oysters in the brewing process for this. They are.
What?
They do use, when they make an oyster stout, they throw an oyster in there. It may have started for taste. It may have started because the impurities bond to the shell of the oyster, and so it cleans the impurities out of it and makes for a cleaner ale. But yes. So
interesting.
So yes, you can throw a whole oyster in and it'll get a lot more flavor, or you can just throw the shells in and it'll give you some flavor and will also help clear impurities. So it's a real thing. My mind was blown. I was like, and this finally brings us to the final thing, which is medication. Is that I
thought it was maybe lamination for a second. I couldn't remember what the third one was, and I went all Great British Bake Off. Okay, go on.
No, we're not talking pastries, although they do sound delicious. No, not butter, oysters. So I'm on a new medication for my diabetes, which means that any alcohol does not do well with me right now.
Yes.
It is immediate.
So
it is immediately as if I am completely way over the bend. It's horrible. It's horrible. So
it's like you're having a colonic.
Yeah. Or I've drunk a 6-pack in college and I'm now in the bathroom puking it's just bad. We don't need
right.
Gentle listeners, we don't need to go too far into it. But let's just say that it's not a good thing. So my point is now I'm on the fence. I'm like, would I try an oyster stout if I were there, or am I happy that I can't have a beer because I'm just I don't know that I want to. I don't know that I'm up for trying that.
I think I would try it. Yeah, I would try it.
Okay.
Maybe we'd get one and then have...
we'd splitsies.
Which brings me back to my idea where we all, troop over to England. Like, we have a
Us
group.
and all of our listeners, come on over. It'll be great.
Yeah. And then, from wherever you are. And we just go to fake Midsummer, Somerset or whatever. And we go to Whitstable. We go to Northumberland. We go to...
Where is Vera? All the way up
Isn't that
north?
Northumberland?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't remember
and
names.
Oxfordshire.
Sure.
Fake Provence.
Different
places in London. Oh, we'll go up to Scotland to where Rebus is.
Right. That's Edinburgh, right?
Yeah. I think, yeah.
It's Edinburgh or the other one.
Wouldn't that be fun?
I'm all for it. Let's do it.
Oh, in Prime Suspect, she leaves London and she goes to Manchester, I think.
I couldn't even begin to tell you.
Yeah, so we'd go there. I just think that'd be so much fun.
Excellent. Well, we'll go there, but we're so happy you're here. Welcome to Cluedunnit.
Yes. Welcome to Cluedunnit, where we make wild guesses about fake TV crimes.
And we've got a Patreon now, too. So if you like what you're hearing and you like learning about oyster stout and all the other things, head on over to patreon.com/Cluedunnit Podcast.
Yes, because we have bonus content there.
So much bonus content. Like, you've heard what there is to say about oyster stout, but you haven't heard about what Jessica has to say about blowing smoke rings. Did you know she could do that?
I did it one time. But yeah, you can hear about that. You can hear about me, the conundrum of not having a driver's license and having to drive in a zombie movie.
The difference, we talked about fountains and ponds on location and crows and what that. So lots of things over there, lots of bonus content, lots of fun going on. Please join us, patreon.com/Cluedunnit Podcast.
Yeah, and there are other benefits as well, but check those out and definitely go for the bonus content.
100%. But now let's go for the real content. What we're talking about today, Whitstable Pearl, Season 1, Episode 5.
Yes.
A Cup of Comfort?
Cup of Kindness.
Cup of Kindness. Excellent.
Yes.
What's the log line?
Well, first of all, the show log line,
sure,
right?
Please,
if you haven't gleaned that already or you're not already familiar, local restaurant owner Pearl...
Right.
Because
Whitstable Pearl.
Whitstable Pearl. Pearl Nolan, that's her last name, sets up a local detective agency after undergoing police training in an earlier career. She is soon embroiled in her first case when she discovers the body of her close friend Vinny. Well, that was the first episode.
Yeah.
We've moved on. This is
a restaurateur opens a detective agency, partners with a very surly Byron-esque detective out from London.
Yeah, and he shows up at it from London, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I can't remember. Is he in town for this Vinny murder?
I think he gets in town for the Vinny murder and then he just sticks
researching
around.
And she keeps kind of going up to him and being like, "Hey, you should check into this. Hey, you should check into this." And he's like, "What? Why are you? You should not be. I should be interviewing you because you're the friend. Why do you know all this stuff?" And then he looks into her and she's like, "Oh yeah, I
used to be a cop.
Yeah, I didn't want to tell you about that, but yes, but I do want to help you because I do want to solve my friend's murder."
Yes.
So, and then they're kind of in they're trying to maybe have a relationship.
They're trying.
He's
He's kind of a jerk.
Yeah. I don't know about jerk. He's just very traumatized.
He's traumatized and moody and surly. They're going to make him they're going for the effect to make him a Byron-esque hero.
Yeah,
he's
looking out the cliffs all the time.
All the time.
From
Like
the harbor.
The number of times he goes out to the seashore and you just see him in silhouette, like tortured, looking out.
Yes. By the way, that is the actual Whitstable Harbor. They film all of this in Whitstable. If there are interior shots they cannot film in a pub or the yacht club, they actually film them in a studio that is built in Whitstable.
So am I saying this wrong? I'm saying Whitstable, and you're saying Whitstable.
Oh, you're right. It's Whitstable.
Okay.
It's WHITSTABLE.
Okay.
Oops, I hit the microphone. Sorry.
It'll be okay. So not in addition to actors, we can also say that you mispronounce places' names.
Yes. So bad. This episode the pilot premiered in May 2021. So during the
just as
pandemic,
they're coming out of lockdown.
Right. So, and this episode logline, which is what you were getting at.
And I have to ask, where did you get is this an IMDb Pro episode logline, which is going to tell us the whole episode, or is this a BritBox?
No. This is short.
Are you okay? I'm going to hold you to that.
I'll even just read the first sentence. just to
sure,
because it's kind of long. So
wait a minute, you just said it was short.
It's short-ish, but
for
long.
IMDb Pro.
Yeah.
First sentence only. Heard.
Okay. When a mother takes her daughter out for a boat ride, despite the father's wishes, the boat starts taking on water and the two need to be rescued. Was it an accident? Were they targeted? Okay, I'll stop there.
Okay, so wait a minute. So do they even... So it's like there's a murder attempt, but maybe not necessarily a murder.
Yeah, and the first time I read this, it sounded like there was actually a murder. I don't know.
We're going to find out.
Yeah. It might just
there's
be
going to be a
water,
mystery.
the boat.
There's going to be a mystery.
That's a mystery. Yeah.
Yeah.
And fun fact about this.
Fun fact about attempted murder.
Well, no. The lead guest star, the mother... is played by Annette Badland.
She did it.
No, maybe. I don't know.
Annette Badland.
But
who is she?
You will probably, in the U.S., will probably recognize her for playing Fleur Perkins, the medical examiner coroner, the woman who's always in the blue PPE on Midsomer Murders. Speaking of Midsomer.
Okay, right.
And also on
Another
Ted Lasso, she plays May, the pub landlord. And also, for people who watch PBS only, on Outlander, she plays Mrs. Fitzgibbons, which is the first season in Scotland. And she's also done 224 episodes of EastEnders. She had a guest star on Doctor Who. She was in Agatha Raisin, Father Brown, Shakespeare and Hathaway, Silent Witness, The Crown, blah, blah, blah. However,
greatest hits.
If you read her bio, or if you are a TV consumer in the UK...
I am not. That's why you are summing this up for us.
You will know her for 100 other things. And I read her bio, and they proudly highlighted them. I have never heard of them. I'm very sorry, but I do know those things about her, and I enjoyed her very much in those other things that I mentioned. Yes.
That is all of her other work is bonus content for all of our UK listeners. That's what that comes down to.
I'm very sorry. I don't know the other reasons why she is famous. And also, if you want to hear an interview with her, you can hop over to Mystery Maniacs. They had an interview with her sometime, like a year, maybe more at this point ago. And it's great.
Yes, go listen to that. But after you finish listening to this episode, please and thank you very much. Okay, that's the guest star. Who are our main stars? Tell us about Pearl.
Well, this is very enjoyable. Pearl is played by Carrie Godliman. Oh shoot, I can't tell if there's an L in there. I think it's Goddyman. Goddyman? Okay.
You're the one who does the pre-cheating.
She is the lead. She is actually a stand-up comedian and actor.
No way.
And as equally as often as she plays...
You can't spell manslaughter without laughter.
Yes. I've never heard that before. So I was going to say, as equally as she has played a character on TV and film like Call the Midwife or this, she often appears as herself on TV and BBC Radio 4 on panel and contest shows like 8 out of 10 Cats and many, 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 many others because they have lots of those in the UK. She also hosts a hit podcast series called Memory Lane with a comedy pal, Jen Brister. Each week, Carrie and Jen invite a new guest to bring in 5 photos of their life to talk about, such as baby photos, birthday photos, school photos, Christmas photos, all great opportunities to have a look at the lives before each guest was famous. So I guess we will have a while before we are on that show. She got a nomination for an Ambie Award, which is a fancy podcast award show. She is also going to be in the new Spinal Tap sequel called This is Spinal Tap. And she has a stand-up tour in the UK going on in 2025 in March. So get tickets for that if you are there.
And I'm making a note to tell my publicist that we need to be nominated for those Ambie Awards. That's what has to happen.
Yes.
And then I'm making a note to get us a publicist.
Yeah. Highlight, yes. Yeah. So, yeah, she's fantastic. I love her in this show as well, and I'm sure I would love her in all these other things. However, I'd sometimes feel a little like I can see the gears Like I can see her changing gears and just being I can feel like she wants to go for the joke, and then she's like, pull it back. Nope. Don't do that. Nope.
That's not the one.
Nope. Don't go there. Nope. But she's lovely. She's wonderful. And I guess I just say that because there are sometimes I feel like, oh, there's a joke here. This could be an actual joke, but
you watch her pull it back.
Yeah. I feel like
this is a very serious show. This is very much a show where they're like, if they're gonna air, like if something weird happens and like you can either choose to like laugh it off and be like, oh, that's funny, or no, I am Batman, I am dark, I am the night. They're gonna go for the I am Batman, I am dark interpretation of it.
Absolutely, and that is DCI Mike McGuire, played by Howard Charles. He was also in Shadow and Bone, and he was in a TV show for the BBC and BBC America, but I don't know, I can't find it, called The Musketeers. He was a musketeer. There was a TV show, a costume drama.
Oh, we saw that.
Did we?
I know I saw at least one episode of that. Yes, 100%.
Oh, well, yeah, I'd love to go back and find that.
Sure.
He was also in The Librarians, and it is no surprise that he is a major stage actor with
he just carries himself as a stage. He's got the whole like John Malkovich. He is very much channeling like a John Malkovich vibe where it's just like a little like damaged and maybe a little like damaged and serious, but also like intense and
Yeah. He has been in the acclaimed productions of The Cherry Orchard, Enron, RSC, Merchant of Venice, the Scottish play. There was a show at the Young Vic that was very acclaimed. This makes all the sense to me, and I wonder, has he been or done, and I would like to suggest this to his agent, if not, that he is in a production of Measure for Measure. Oh, what were you going to say? We'll
get our publicist on that. But Measure for Measure. So as the like corrupt, awful priest.
I think he would kill it, not because he's like a baddie, but because he's so tortured. Yes. I think that character is so tortured. He would be devastating. Yeah, I think.
Fair enough.
Then also in this show, we have Dolly Nolan, who is the lead, Pearl's mother.
Yes, who helps her out at the restaurant.
Yeah, and that character is played by Frances Barber. Her IMDb bio is so theater heavy, which is so funny to me. She has an Olivier Award.
Oh my gosh.
And a nomination. She has done Shakespeare alongside like everybody, including Sir Ian McClellan and Kenneth Branagh. And she has also 7 episodes of the 2011 Doctor Who episode. She played Madame Ovarian, which is also known as Eye Patch Lady. And that's in the Matt Smith era when we find out about Amy Pond's special powers. Yeah. Do you remember this?
No, I don't remember this. Oh. I'm just still gobsmacked over the whole, like, I have won an Olivier, our nation's highest honor for stage actors. I have worked with Kenneth Branagh, and I've also done Doctor Who and worn an eye patch.
Yes.
Okay. It's great.
Oh, she's fabulous in that role. She's so great. Also, we have Ruby Williams is played by Isabel Malloy, and she is an early career actress born in 2000, best known for her portrayal of Amanda and later Matilda Wormwood in the West End version of Matilda. And then she made her film debut as young Maleficent in the 2014 Disney fantasy film Maleficent, and she's done 12 episodes of EastEnders. So she's just getting started, people.
She's just getting started. 12 episodes? Oh my goodness, yes.
Then we have
that's a half day's work on that show. They just crank those episodes out
right.
Just so fast. So, like they just walk you from set to set, and you're like, when do I go on? That's it. You've already done 12 episodes. You're great. Thanks so much. Thanks for coming by.
Yeah. And then we have Sophia Del Pizzo, who plays DS Nikki Martel. She is an early career actress as well. Oh, I look forward to seeing more of her on another Acorn show, I am sure. Then we have...
Wait a minute. Pop quiz, Jessica. We've covered this before. What does DSI stand for?
Well, she's a DS, which is Detective Sergeant.
Okay.
DSI would be Detective Sergeant Inspector.
Very good. Well done. You passed.
Or DI would be Detective Inspector. Do you have a DSI?
I don't know. DI, DS. You got it right. Keep going. Okay. I couldn't trip you up.
Then we have Charlie Nolan, who is the son of Pearl, and that Charlie is played by Rohan Ned. And he is second on the call sheet of Harry Wild, another Acorn mystery show that stars Jane Seymour. We will do that show at some point as well.
Got it.
We promise. And actually, if you would like us to do it sooner, you can join our Patreon and get more and stuff the ballot box for that show when we do our poll.
When we do our scheduling. Yes, of course.
I'm just putting that in there.
Just putting that in there, yeah.
Okay. And then we have Chloe Mills, that's a character in this episode, played by Freya Hannon Mills.
There are some good names in this. We've had Rohan. We've had, what was this last one that you just
Freya.
Freya, Rohan, Freya.
Howard. A grown man named Howard. That's fantastic. A young but grown man named Howard, not like a...
Rohan, Freya, Howard.
It's like that Ghosts episode we were just watching where Biddy and Edith,
Biddy and Edith yes.
show up for their birthday party, and Mike thinks it's going to be an 86th birthday party of old ladies, and it turns out
they're 8 and 6.
8 and 6 because we're bringing back all the old lady names.
Sure, I'm all for it.
Fiona, yeah, me too.
Fiona's not an old. Is Fiona an old lady name?
Yeah. Again, Fiona was our favorite character. Not character, but our favorite child on the Great British Bake Off kids version. Remember? Wasn't that Fiona?
I don't remember, but I do remember there's like Fiona Shaw, there's Fiona Apple, there's Fiona in Shrek. Like, that's an old lady name?
Yeah. Okay, fine. I take it back.
Thank you.
Okay, fine. But back to Freya, she was
please.
just in a pilot of Ellis, which is another Acorn mystery we should watch. That is getting all kinds of lauding, fan interest on
BritBox. What I'm saying is BritBox is Acorn is giving you a run for their money, or rather a run for our money is what we're saying here.
Yes. The creator of this show the writer the books are based on is Julie Wassmer. 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 Julie Wassmer. She is actually originally, this is kind of confusing. Take my word for it. She was originally a professional TV drama writer. Mm-hmm. And she worked on several TV series, including EastEnders, which she wrote on for 20 years.
Oh, my Lord.
And she wrote a memoir called More Than Just Coincidence, which was a top 20 nonfiction book of the year kind of thing. And then in 2015, she debuted the Whitstable Pearl crime novel series, and she released the 10th one this year in 2024.
Oh my God, she's been cranking them out a book a year. Like, that is not easy.
Yeah. And the creator, the devised for TV, funny enough, not her.
Right.
That's
a lot of work. She's writing a novel a year. She doesn't have time to do it and to make it into a TV show.
You're right. So
and if she wrote on EastEnders for 20 years, she might also just be completely overwriting for a TV.
Yeah,
Let's be clear. That's a lot of script.
Oh my gosh, writing for a soap. Wow. Yeah. So I'm really excited to see this. I'm excited to look at this with the eye of this is a real town called Whitstable that they're not acting.
What's it called again?
Whitstable. I'm sorry. Whitstable. Whitstable. They're not, So, but you get my point, right? They're not acting like San Francisco.
It's not Toronto.
San Francisco.
Yes, this is Whitstable. Yes.
Yeah, I guess that's what I was trying to say. Like in Vancouver, when they're trying to pretend like they're New York, or
Toronto,
they're at Paramount Studios trying to look like they're walking on New York City streets or whatever. No, this is actually Whitstable.
What you see is what you get.
Yeah.
And I do it does evoke a place. This very much does evoke the place. So I love that.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're going to crack open an oyster stout and watch the beginning of this, and we'll be right back with some guesses.
See you soon.
Gentle listener, I have to say that despite my hard time of calling Jessica out on her pre-cheating all the time, she's actually a very noble and honest and righteous player of this Cluedunnit game.
Oh, thank you, Coakley. Thank you.
And it's important to say this because in the last section, she said that she was going to read us just a little bit of the logline of this episode that she got from IMDb Pro. Well, it turns out That was not the logline from IMDb Pro. That was the logline from BritBox. And we mention this because the IMDb Pro logline for this episode makes it seem as if there's a murder in this episode.
Yes.
If not a couple. But the BritBox one is very clear that the boat is, there's a boat and it goes down and it seems like someone is threatening this person's life, but they don't know whether or not it was intentional or not. So maybe nobody dies, question mark?
Yeah, I don't know. But I think we're going to just have to figure out why the boat took on water.
I agree. So we're going to tell you what happened in the intro, and then we're going to talk through what crimes we might possibly be guessing on.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll see what happens on all this.
Yeah. I would like you to start because you deferred. We said maybe we could talk about this off mic for a little bit and just set up our guesses and then just do them.
Right.
On mic, but you said no. I think we should talk about it on mic, and that's because I think there's something swirling around up in Jake Brain.
Jake Brain. So let's walk through this. So we start out. It's dawn. It's as our subtitles helpfully said, tranquil music playing.
Yes.
So 3 generations of women are walking along the pier. There is grandmother Rosie, there is mother Lindsay, and there is daughter Chloe.
Yeah.
And Chloe is ill. And grandmother is just telling her to relax. It's fine. You're ill because you're on land. You actually will feel better when you get on the boat. There's a Gilmore Girls thing going on.
Yeah.
But in any event, Chloe gets on the boat. Lindsay turns to her mother, Rosie, and was just like, I'm worried about her. It's been too long. And Rosie's like, you are the same way. It'll pass.
But what does that mean? You think it's that she might be pregnant.
Right.
So the boat...
So they leave. So they get on the boat. They go off. And she's texting her dad saying, I'm sorry, I'm going to miss breakfast with you. I'm feeling ill. Mom's taking me out on the boat. And then the father,
comes running. I just got a text. What happened? Where are they?
Well, this is my morning. And he gets really angry.
It's my day.
It's my day. And he's really angry with Rosie. He's like, I see what you're doing, but it's not going to work. But this was my day. And he's genuinely hurt. And then we cut to Pearl's restaurant where Mike, our detective, is being surly and grumpy as he looks at a menu.
Trying to decide what to order.
Right.
Thing.
She's flirting. He's being tortured. I also have to take a step back. We joked that this show is trying to be 2 different things. On the poster for this show, it's welcome to Whitstable, where murder's on the menu.
Right.
That's legit funny. What happened in this? I want to ask the show, who hurt you, show? Who hurt you as a child? Why can't you just lighten up a little bit? In any event, they go back, and then they cut back to the pier. The dad gets a call from the daughter that the boat is sinking. It's taking on water. He doesn't know what's going on. Or she doesn't know what's going on. They just know that they're sinking, and the dad's like, oh my gosh. Anyways, and then you cut back to inside the restaurant where Pearl sees that the people next to Mike have ditched the bill. So they're like, oh my gosh, what's going on?
They're the Coast Guard because the dad says, I'm going to call the Coast Guard.
Right. So they're clearly the Coast Guard. So Pearl gets a hot tin of soup or tea or something and rushes out with Mike to the pier to see what's going on. They get to the pier. The Coast Guard is showing back up and they've got the mother, Lindsay, and the daughter, Chloe. The dad is picks a fight with Lindsay. And she's like, he's like, how did it sink? She's like, I don't know. She's like, what do you mean you didn't know? Didn't you inspect it? And she says, and I think this is important. We're going to have to drill into this later on. She says, I inspected the boat last night. And he gets really angry at this and is like, you didn't inspect it this morning? The Coast Guard tries to pull him away, and then he gets into a fight with the Coast Guard. So we're 5 minutes in, The boat is sunk, something is going on, the daughter is ill, the parents are divorced, Rose, the grandmother, is looking sus as F.
Yes, for sure. And this is not, I don't think this is her normal accent.
No, I'm so glad you brought that up.
This actress is definitely doing a fancy lady.
Is it a fancy accent?
I feel like it's a highborn type of
tell.
RP or whatever, but she's wearing, I didn't get a good shot of her nails, but I bet she's got her nails done. She's wearing this beautiful drapey black, by the way, black silk pants and silk top,
Yeah,
wafty
like
top.
the mother and the daughter are in like yellow like boat jackets and boots and caps, and like they look like fishermen.
Yeah.
But the Rose, the grandmother, looks very elegant.
She might even be wearing heels. I don't low heels, but
not stilettos, not on that pair.
Yeah. But yeah, she looks super fancy. And she had fancy earrings. Her hair is like super poofy.
Yeah.
And yeah, and the other ladies look like their jackets could probably act as life preservers.
Yeah. Now that you know what happened, like there's so much that we can guess on. I think we have to come up with like 2 different crimes. What's going on? Who do we think is going to die, and who do we think did it? There's a lot of guessing that's going to happen here, people. And you know what? With our track record, all of this is meaningless. Just go ahead, skip like 30, 60 seconds to like when we come back with the results, or make your own guesses and just tune us out right now because we have no idea, even more so than usual.
Yeah, this could be a big Christie's too, where there are like lots of people with different motives, like nothing.
Okay, yes,
like B story motives that are doing and other things in the background,
and multiple bad actors. Like Rose, the grandmother, could be doing something completely independent of the business people that this guy has screwed over.
Oh, you're already going there.
I'm
Jacob.
Just saying,
I'm writing it down.
If we think, and by we, I mean you said it too, but I mean me. Like if I don't think that he's going to survive, then why isn't he going to survive? And it's smuggling people or drugs. It's that he owes people money. Like he could be like maybe because he's in the middle of this divorce, he's gotten some bad loans, or he gambled it away, or so he owes a bunch of people some money, and the boat was the collateral, and they knew that. So I literally don't think he's going to survive this episode.
I don't think the boat is collateral, but I wonder if the inspection of the boat the night before was to make sure that whatever nasty things he's
involved
smuggling wasn't there.
Oh, like so the daughter doesn't know about it, or that nobody else knows about it for that matter.
Yeah.
And for that matter, maybe she's smuggling because she did the inspection last night.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna say
But I think Rosie knows about all of it.
Yes.
And maybe this is. Shoot, there's a show out of Mexico. It wasn't called Narcos, but it was about this woman who was a drug lord, was like running a whole, and it was a pretty big deal. It was it was like telenovela, but like Game of Thrones level of telenovela.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. I can't remember the name of it, but this was Catherine Zeta-Jones, I think.
No.
Wasn't that
it
one?
was. Okay. It wasn't Catherine.
Oh, was it Selma?
No,
oh my God.
It's the woman from the comedy show. It was a network. It was about a family. She's Sofia Vergara.
Oh, yes, Modern Family.
Isn't it her?
Yeah, that sounds accurate, yeah.
Oh my God. If it isn't, let's just check this.
We've got to the Google machine.
Griselda and...
the Netflix miniseries. Yeah, Sofia Vergara? Now, see, I can't pronounce actors' names either. Yes, the Netflix miniseries Griselda.
Okay.
Colombian drug lord. So there you go. So... thank you, Google machine.
Yeah. So what if Rosie is some sort of...
Rosie is the drug
Zelda, and she wants to make sure that he pays for some F-up that he's done.
Yeah, but I don't know that she would... oh, so she's killing her daughter and her granddaughter to make the ex-husband pay?
Oh, you're right. No.
But I mean, I like your like Christie's where like you can have multiple bad actors. Like she could be doing something at the same time as somebody else is as well. Like I don't think that she's completely innocent in this.
I don't think so either.
So, okay. So I'm just going to say that he pissed off the wrong people in his smuggling ring.
Yeah.
And they're trying to kill him. So that's what I think is going on there. And for Rosie, I'm going to say that Rosie is absolutely trying to get him out of her granddaughter's life. I'm reversing course.
Okay.
I think that Rosie knows that the daughter has what's the type of a disease that's going to kill you? Just any kind of fatal.
Rosie?
Fatal. She has a fatal disease.
Oh, okay.
I think Rosie knows that the daughter has a fatal disease and is hiding it from the mother and the father, and is just trying to like keep the kid from the father with as much spite as possible. And yeah, that's what I think. I think the daughter has a fatal disease,
and Rosie knows about it.
Rosie knows about it, but nobody else does.
And she was going to sink the boat?
Yeah, you know what? Yes. She was going to sink the boat to give the daughter a clean, quick death instead of suffering with this disease and let the mother go down as well, I guess. But yes, I'm forget about the smuggling. I'm leaving that all behind. Okay. Rosie is a mastermind trying to save the daughter from a horrible, lingering, painful death.
Oh my goodness.
I'm going for it. Why not? I've got no idea. I'm going to make this as sordid as humanly possible.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to stick with the smuggling.
You're going with smuggling? Okay.
I think that I think she did. I think you're right. That boat did not look that impressive, but it's not a pleasure boat. It's
no.
definitely
it's
supposed to be.
Boat.
Yeah, it's a work boat.
It's a trawler. Well, maybe not a trawler.
It's kind of small for a trawler.
You're right.
I mean, I guess I've been watching too much Great North, but that's a trawler, it seems like to me. But yes.
It also looked too real. It didn't look like a cartoon boat. And from my experience watching the Great North, trawlers are definitely cartoon boats. So that couldn't possibly have been that.
Right. So I think it's a small trawler, but it definitely has been smuggling something. And it definitely has something on it or evidence. And she knew that they were going to be able to take care of themselves. Like they would be dressed appropriately. It would have, they would have flotation devices. What am I trying to say?
No, I don't know.
But the word for float.
Life jackets?
They would have life jackets. And so they would be fine as long as they called the Coast Guard. But
okay.
You're going to reverse course.
I'm not going to okay.
No, go ahead.
No. I have a reinterpretation. You finish what you're saying, but I have a reinterpretation about the daughter's illness. Go on.
Oh, okay. And so I think she knew that they were going to be fine, but she wanted to sink the boat. I don't think it's his boat. Yeah, because that's the other thing. It doesn't seem like it only seems like the mother knows something is going on.
Yes.
The father seems completely oblivious, except for his anger, which seems out of control, but is just could be just interpreted as dad anger.
And this is okay. I have to step in now because this is so. We both got pregnancy vibes.
Yeah.
But they have the conversation of this is going on too long. You were the same way with you. You grew out of it. It passed. In my brain, that felt like PMS vibes. Like they're talking about like teenager, like she's feeling ill.
Yeah.
What if every one of those ladies knows that the daughter is pregnant? And what if it's not like let's take the ick factor out of here that it's the dad's kid. But what if every one of those ladies knows that the daughter is pregnant and they're trying to keep that fact from the father? Because when the father finds out, the father's going to lose his shit and go after the kid because the dad has anger issues and go after the kid who knocked up his girl.
Oh.
So they're trying to protect her and keep the father out of it. And he's like,
so you're changing your
I
guess.
am not. I am sticking with my guess. I'll stick with my guess. With the disease, yes. But I'm just saying, like, that's another way of looking at that to interpret that, and I'll let you decide what to do with that.
She was going to sink the boat so that they had an ending.
Right. That's my guess.
She was killing them.
Rosie was killing them so that the daughter would not have a long and lingering painful death. That's my guess. But there is now that other alternate thing with the pregnancy that I will let you, possible pregnancy that I will let you do something with or not.
Yeah, I like your guess. Can I go with your guess?
Sure.
Can I take your guess?
I generously give you the guess, free of charge.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to go for. That's what I'm going to write down, is that both the mother and the grandmother know that she's pregnant, and the father has anger issues, and so they don't know that the boat is going to sink. That turns out to be accidental, but like actually an accident. They just wanted to keep from the father that the daughter was pregnant and that she's having like morning sickness, illness, and because he has anger issues and might go after the father of the, yeah. Okay, that's what I'm, yeah, I like that.
All right,
okay,
lock it in. Let's go find out what's going on.
We'll see.
All right, Jessica.
Yes.
I maintain that I should get a point for this.
What?
It's true. I guessed Rose. Like, that's the grandmother's name, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I guessed Rose, and it was Rose. I was completely wrong that she... like.
There's no point for that.
What?
Not even a half point.
Well, we don't deal in half points. This is, like, established lore. But what? No, I guessed Rose, and I was right. Rose was the one behind it all, and she was actively poisoning her granddaughter.
But your motivations were...
It doesn't do with the motivations. Yes, you're right. I was completely wrong on the motivations. But it was her, and she was poisoning her granddaughter in order to keep the family together and to keep them infantilized, to keep her, like... to keep them needing her.
Yes. Okay,
so
fine.
she was creating the tension, so it was her. She was trying to kill people.
Okay,
she even convinced Chloe to, like, do it herself, too. But in the end, it was her.
Oh, she convinced Chloe to go and set the boats on fire?
I'm not sure that she actually said that, did it. But, like, we thought... So lots of family drama is basically what this comes down to. Nobody actually died.
Everybody keeps saying family drama in this, and I was like, oh.
Like, Pearl's mother, Dolly kept saying Mother Teresa, that one, derisively towards Rose, and, like, she didn't like it. It's like, what's up with that? And then the couple, Henry and, was it Heather, and Heather, who run the rival yachting club.
Yeah.
Which, okay, I'm going to take a break here for a second. Theoretically, so Jamie and Lindsay married, contentious, getting a divorce. Lindsay back at home living with her mother who poisoned her when she was a teenager. That has nothing to do with pregnancy, nothing to do with PMS, all about the fact that the mother was poisoning her when she was a teenager.
Yeah. Do we know, did we ever find out it's been a long time? Well, you got used to it. What was that?
No.
Did you think that Lindsay knew that her mother was poisoning Chloe?
No. She just, like, Lindsay knew that she was sick as a teenager, and Chloe is now also sick as a teenager. Lindsay doesn't know that she was poisoned as a teenager. She just knows that she was sick, and so, like, Chloe's poisoned as well. Why don't they take this girl to the doctor? Whatever. What I'm trying to say is, where I broke into this was that boat that we were like, it's a fishing trawler. Okay, we weren't like that. I said it's a fishing trawler. It looked like a work boat. It was a pleasure cruise boat from her yachting club. What's up with that? Like, that did not look like a pleasure boat. Like, we both said that looked like a working boat. But yes, Lindsay and Jamie own a yachting club.
It's a sailing club. It's for people who want to learn sailing. By the way, that scene when Pearl and Mike are sitting in that sailboat, and it's such choppy waters, and yet they had to get them in the water. They couldn't be like, let's try this on the pier. They were like, no, let's try the hardest fucking thing. Let's film from the pier with them sitting in the boat. And so that they are rising and falling, and you are going out of frame, and you're just like hoping that you can see them say a sentence.
It's true. I nearly got seasick watching that scene. The boating in this was great.
I think that we would have gotten more sick had the camera been in the water. Yeah, I think that because we had that land image, anyway, I thought that was hilarious how and the scene was so long.
It kept going on and on. It really did.
And it was pivotal for their friendship.
Okay.
Or whatever you want to call it.
It is a romantic relationship. They ended this episode with him running through town on New Year's Eve and fireworks going off behind them at the end of the pier as they kissed. This is not a friendship.
It's true. It's true.
This is a toxic relationship is what this is.
I don't think it is toxic. It is not toxic. It is maybe not the right thing for them, but I don't think either of them are toxic. I don't think that Mike is toxic.
Okay, fair enough. I don't think Mike's fine.
Like, what's wrong with being... I mean, if you're a misanthrope, you're a misanthrope.
They jokingly call him Captain Misery Guts.
In town, yes.
Yes. Like, I don't know. I guess the thing about this is that I don't... So there's another show, Colin from Account, not a mystery at all.
No.
Very lovely romantic comedy, except for the fact that, like, at one point at the end of season 1, they're like, should a relationship be this difficult? And I'm like, no. Like, there's drama in every relationship, especially at the beginning. I mean, I was in my 20s too. But, like, there's a certain point where you're like, and this is why you can't actually question that in a romantic comedy or in a TV show. Because the whole point of a romantic comedy or TV show is to throw lots of crazy, stupid obstacles at people, and they do things that completely normal people wouldn't at all. So, like, when they look around and be like, is this normal? No, it's not normal at all in any sense of the word. This is not normal. I guess my point on this, though, is, like, in Column from Accounts, there was a genuine spark. I mean, they're a married couple, so I would hope so. But there was a genuine spark and something between those two people. I don't know that I see any kind of, what is the attraction here? Is, like, what does Pearl see in this guy, I guess is what I'm saying, other than, like, a wounded puppy.
Yeah.
Like, deep underneath his gruff exterior, he's just a wounded puppy. That's not good.
Okay. Well, I just don't think that that's toxic.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, we have a grandmother poisoning her grandchildren. That is
literally toxic.
Literally toxic.
Yes.
Yeah, so we'll not throw that word around.
Okay,
but we'll
fine.
say that maybe they aren't actually good emotional matches for each other, because she's spending all the time cheering him up and going after him and chasing after him. And he occasionally shows up but can't go the distance, and for himself or her, and yeah.
And I guess, and like, this is like my point again about the spark is, like, whether or not he's a great guy, I'm like I wanted to see what made him worth it, and I guess I think they're just relying on him being so unattainable. You know what I mean? There's that little bit of, like, oh no, he can't. He's that remote, aloof. Will he ever have emotional response? I'm going to get that emotional response to him.
English history or English literature is littered with grumpy men who are sad about things. And yet, women go after them.
How have the Brits procreated all these years? Yes. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. Yes, English literature is full of grumpy English men who want nothing to do with their partners.
Well, they want something to do with them, but from our perspective, we're like, do you actually like her? I mean, I know the writer thinks you do, but I'm not convinced.
I'm not sure that go on a grand tour. Learn how they do it in Italy or France or something. Oh, not France. Oh my God. Okay, fine. Okay, but so yes, the grandmother was poisoning the granddaughter and definitely didn't want, and also wanted her daughter, Lindsay, to divorce Jamie because the grandmother didn't want to be left alone. So she was trying to break up the marriage. So Lindsay and Chloe had to be back home, and it was just wretched.
Yeah, I agree. It was pretty wretched.
And I also,
great role for Annette.
Yes, well done, Annette. And she wasn't wearing a silk thing. She was wearing this very lovely, like, wool poncho kind of thing in the first
but it was
scene.
drapey.
It was very drapey.
We could be faulted for...
Who could fault her
excused for thinking that it was like a silk thing, but it was wool. Yeah.
So part of the stress in this whole thing that Lindsay is divorcing Jamie because we were convinced that Jamie was going to be in debt up to his eyeballs. And, like, that's, like, he was trying to get money
we
somehow.
thought it was because of drugs or something.
But it was because of his gambling.
Yes.
He had lots and lots of gambling debts.
He was definitely of this potential type, like obsessed with the potential.
I'll make this work. Don't worry about this. It'll come through.
Yeah, not just the gambling, but the house and their relationship and the sailing club, and like saying Lindsay doesn't believe in herself, and so he's just a believer in the potential of things, which also is nice, but can, too much of that can
I say toxic optimism?
Yeah, okay, fine.
Toxic positivity, that's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
No, I don't think he's definitely not British with a toxic positivity. Anyways, he had this house that theoretically she moved out of, and they're, like, trying to renovate this house, and they've been trying to renovate this house for 5 years. All I can say is, all they did to make this house not look renovated was throw some plastic sheeting on it. Everything was done.
Yeah.
The marble countertops installed, the high-end garage. Like, the only thing this house didn't have was furniture. There was nothing not done about this house at all. I was like, why is he painting? What's going on? He's like, we've been trying to remodel this for 5 years. I'm like, dude, take the plastic off. You're done. You're done. It's done. Everything looks great. This is fine here.
Yeah, exactly. And they put a couple of pallets of concrete, the dust, the bags.
Oh, yeah. Where were they pouring concrete in that? My goodness gracious. I will say this.
Yeah.
So speaking of Brits and their, like, grumpy old men, the Brits have no trouble at all just straight up admitting that they're just going to get fucking blackout drunk. Like, the whole, like, this climax of this episode and the emotional, like, thing of this was a New Year's Eve party.
Yeah.
And, like, the rules, like, publicly stated without shame, Pearl's rules was, like, no kissing, no resolutions, heavy drinking.
Like
that's the draw. And she, like, does a shot with her son, 2 shots with her son. As soon as the restaurant closes, they just, like Pearl's mother, Dolly, is showing her son's girlfriend how to do a shot of tequila. And they all do, like, 2 shots, like, bam, bam. Yeah, they're completely comfortable with just, nope, we're just going to drink till we're blacked out or something. So that was very British. I was just like, oh, wow, you are just going for it.
Yeah. I mean, we had abolition here, so we're a little puritanical about our drinking.
Prohibition, but yes.
What did I say?
Abolition.
Oh, yeah, prohibition.
Yeah.
Sorry. What did you start the podcast with?
Carbonation, medication, and I think location.
Abolition and prohibition.
And prohibition, yes. It's the Ishin episode here.
Yeah.
Whitstable Pearl Ishin edition.
So how about Christie's?
The part of this is that I'm going to have to... I am of 2 minds of this. I'm a little conflicted. One, I'm a little annoyed that nobody actually died. So I'm a little kind of like, I kind of want to hold that against them. On the other hand, they really did do some good twisting in it, and to how they did pull in the grandmother on this. On the third hand, yes, I have 3 hands. I totally guessed that the grandmother was behind it all. So, like, even though I didn't guess the whole poisoning the granddaughter part, like, I knew she was going to be doing something to the granddaughter and that she was behind it. And partly, let's be honest, that's partly because it was the guest star. And you know what I mean? Like, it was one of the great things about Poker Face and how Ketchum is that, like, right away, and, like, great, now that you just get, like, you don't have to hide it. So now you just get to have these guest stars just go out and do their thing. So... I don't know. I'll give it a 5 right down the middle. I'll give it a 5.
A 5. Oh, so who actually cut the bilge line so that it could...
We don't know. So the boat in the beginning was sinking because somebody cut the pipe for the bilge pump. So the bilge pump wouldn't work, which meant they couldn't pump out the water, so it just sank when all the water went into it. Later on in the episode, Chloe is shown throwing gas on some boats in the yacht club. So she's clearly trying to sabotage things. And there's also moments where people talk about kids, like, breaking glass and breaking in and stuff like that. So clearly something has been going on for a while.
And she says, when she's caught, she says, my dad will save me. My dad will save me.
Right. So she's trying to create these little emergencies so that her dad can save her.
Yeah.
But it's not clear if she's the one who cut the pump or the grandma is the one who cut the pump. But I think it's her that did it, because the grandma doesn't actually want to kill them. The grandma just wants them to need her. So I think it's that Chloe went in and cut it so that the dad could be the hero, and, like, they could see that it would be together.
I think I wrote down here somewhere before we did our guesses, and then I ignored it. Parent Trap. I thought it might be...
Oh my God, it would be hilarious, yes. But it absolutely was a Parent Trap situation. She was trying to get her parents back together. She wanted the madness to stop.
Yeah. But, okay, for my Christie's, there were some good interviews. We met some interesting suspects. Not a ton, because we've got so much of the story of the romance story between Mike and Pearl.
They even tried to be, okay... this show, like, it wants to be funny. It, like, deep down somewhere, it wants to be funny. Mm-hmm. Like, there was a whole physical comedy routine. Like, Mike's a big guy. Like, he's tall, and he's also just broad. He's a big guy. Like, they put him in, like, a baby life jacket at one point, and he's just like, this is a medium? It's like, it's supposed to be a funny thing, but it's like, it just, I don't know. They want to be funny. Keep trying, guys. Keep trying. Go for it. You can get there. I believe in you.
Yeah. I'd give it a 5. Because it's kind of, it's not, it has a lot of good interviews. Pearl does some good detectiving.
Yeah.
And
some good barfing too. Like, she barfs because when she figures out that Rose is poisoning people because she has a bite of Chloe's sandwich.
Yeah.
And she pukes it up. But I was just like, damn, like, that's some real, I mean, it's some real prop vomit coming out of your mouth, but like, I was like, good job you with the holing in the prop vomit.
Yeah, and I did like that Dolly was there in order to say, at least in ADR, you have to, be more quiet doing that. You're in your restaurant. You can't be throwing up in your restaurant. That's not a good look.
It's a bad look.
I was like, thank you. That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah, so I'd say a 5.
Okay.
I like this show. I will absolutely watch more of it.
Oh, yeah.
If nothing for her hair and for her solving of things. And I have, looking at some of the reviews of, like, future episodes, I mean, very short, like, one-liners. People have been greeting the new seasons. Like, oh, I'm so happy and I'm so glad they changed his brooding or whatever. And I thought he wasn't in the show anymore, but looking at IMDb, he is for sure in all the episodes. So it's definitely with him. But I think that they like change the tempo on the show, or the tenor of the show, to not make it so broody and Heathcliffy.
Would you visit Whitstable?
Yeah.
It looks gorgeous, right?
Yeah, and oysters. The oysters. I now want to try an oyster stout. I am curious.
I am too. All right. Well, maybe we do that. Maybe we go find ourselves an oyster stout. I mean, not tonight. It's late.
Please.
But in general.
Yeah.
Maybe okay. All right.
Fun.
Well, there you go. That's what we got this time around. Thanks so much. I won. Good job, me.
Good job, Jacob.
Whoever our thank you, future statisticians, for keeping track of points, because I have no idea what's going on with this.
Hey, and before you go, thanks for listening. Go ahead and follow us and subscribe and give us a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts.
And if that's too much work, just tell a friend. Really, that's the best. Like, if you're enjoying this, tell other people. Let them enjoy it too. It'll be great.
Yes, and don't forget, we have the Patreon. You can support, become a member. You can join at $5 or $10 a month levels, and you get bonus content and a bunch of other stuff that's really fun. Go check it out. Oh, I have it written down right here. You get raw footage, exclusive episodes, access to seasonal live shows, more info coming about that later. And you can also make sure that we do the shows that you love. In the season planning poll, you get more votes. So go to patreon.com/Cluedunnit Podcast.
Or, just stay in touch and drop us an email at cluedunnitpodcast@gmail.com, or slide into our DMs. You are following us on Instagram and Facebook at Cluedunnit Podcast, right?
Right. So we'll see you next time.
This closing script is officially approved by the Totally Fake Podcasting Adjudication Board. There's also, like, Fiona was one of the characters in one of my favorite fantasy novels of all time.
What one is that?
I think I could be wrong. Now I'm going to be wrong. Watch me be wrong. So I'm not going to. I think there's a character named Fiona in The Chronicles of Amber by Roger Zelazny, but I could be wrong now. It's been a minute since I've read that series.
Okay.
Point being, Fiona is dear to my heart. Let's not slander that name.
Yeah, okay, fine.